Okay, Year 10, first YouTube video lesson of the year, and this is how I'll bring my microphone a little closer to me. So we're going to look at the second section now. It's an algebra review. Excuse me while I get the mic set up. We did an algebra review, looked at things like terms, and just recapped a lot of that stuff. And I've given you a chance to complete that work for homework on exercise 1A. So hopefully that's all done. And the second task for Monday is to go through this video, which is going to be on this lesson on algebraic fractions, which I'll start now. Okay, so I think this is probably one of the tougher areas of the course actually. And so what I'll do is I'll go through some examples. Algebraic fractions you would have looked at before, but I don't think it's easy, and there are some common errors that I just want to go through and hopefully help you not make those errors. So let's have a look at some examples. So what we're doing here is we're going to be presented with some fractions that we're going to need to simplify. Right, so what I'm doing, I'm taking them out of the textbook because they're good examples, and also what it enables you to do is, if you don't understand my explanation, so then you can go and have a look at the one that's in the textbook, and so marry them together, and perhaps you've got a really good understanding there. So 8a squared b over 2a. Alright, so it's got algebra in it. It's a fraction, definitely, and our job is to simplify it. Okay, so what this should say here is simplify this fraction. Okay, in order to do so, we need to cancel common factors. So we need to look for common factors and cancel. So I'll take out a different coloured pen here and just identify common factors. So first thing to do, look at the numbers, 8 and 2. Identify a common factor, hopefully you can, of 2, and then divide both by 2. So 8 by 2 is 4, divide the 2 by 2 is 1. I'll write that there, but I'm not actually going to represent the 1 because 1a is just a, as we discussed the other day. So now move on. We've done the numbers. Look at the letters. Now there's an a squared and an a. So an a squared, well, that's just AA, isn't it? And if I think of it like that, that's AA and that's A. I take off 1 each. That's a common factor. So I'm just now left with one of those A's. Okay, so I'll just get rid of that because I rewrote that as AA. B doesn't have any friends down here at all, does he? So he just holds there. And what we do now is just rewrite. After we've done all that cancelling, we rewrite it as 4. What's left here? 4A, 4AB on top. Underneath, I don't need to write the 1. In fact, there's only 1 underneath. So just to complete it, we'd write that just as 4AB. And that's our simplified answer. Okay, so looking on to the second example, which is 3 minus 9x over 3. Now this is, if we had a look at the first example, that's just one term. There's one term top and bottom, so there was only one thing to think about. Here we've got 3 terms. Now a really important thing here is to remember, if we're going to cancel out using common factors, we have to cancel through. The common factor has to go through all 3 terms in this case, or every term in top and bottom. We can't, for instance, and this is a common error, I'll give you an example. Let's say it's 3 minus 8x over 3. A lot of students down the years for me have wanted to do this. And naturally you think, oh, there's a 3 and a 3, so they can go. 3 goes. But no, this is incorrect, because look, I haven't 8x, 3 doesn't go into 8x. Really easy to see if we look at a numerical example. So if I put 3 minus 6 over 3, we can see that that's the actual value of this is minus 3 over 3, which is minus 1. That's what this equals. But if I just did that, what do I end up with? I end up with minus 6. Clearly a different result to minus 1. So no, we can't just pick off 2 of the 3. The common factor has to go through all, in this case, 3 terms. So I've got 2 choices here. I can identify that 3 goes into everything and go, righto, good, divide that by 3, divide that by 3, and divide that by 3. So I'm left with simply 1 minus 3x, and I've only got 1 underneath, so I don't need to write over 1, and I'm done, 1 minus 3x. The other option would have been to factorise that numerator, which is sometimes a really good idea, and we'll do a bit more of this later. If I did factorise it, it would look like that, wouldn't it? I'd take the 3 out as the common factor. When you expand this, you get 3 minus 9x, which is what we got there, over 3. And you see this is quite neat, because now I can just take the 3 off there and there. And now it's okay just to do that because it's in factored form. And now you can see the result is the same, 1 minus 3x. Different technique, we will be using that a little later on. Okay, move on to another example. Go to example C, which is now a multiplication example. So I'm just giving one example of each type of question. So what I want you to do as you're looking through this is certainly take note of what I'm saying and really try and understand it, but then write the examples in your book, including my notes on what not to do and things like that. That's great. And then you're ready for Monday's lesson and to tuck into the questions. So 2 over a times, so it's not just your job to copy down what I'm writing here, your job is to understand, and what I'll be doing is testing that understanding when I see you on Monday. A plus 2 over 4, look at this, multiplication. Now with multiplication, we can look for common factors, and we can cancel using common factors, not just here and here, but here and here also. So top and any bottom. Okay, so any pair where one's in the top, one's in the bottom. So I can look here and here, which is going to help me, isn't it? Because 2 goes in once there and twice there. Right, now let's be careful here. Look, they're setting a trap for us, I think. An A and an A, and the temptation is to go, yeah, let's get rid of those. But no, we've just learned that that's a bad thing to do, so I can't do that because there's no A here. So A plus 2 and A, there's no common factor because the A goes into 2 of the 3 terms, but not all 3 of them. If you're not really sure what I'm saying there, that's okay. We can go through another explanation in class. And the same here for this 2. I really want to take those 2's away, but resist because of that A, right? This term here is A plus 2. 2 has to go into all 3 if we're going to do the cancelling. So we're done cancelling there. There's nothing more we can do. Now what we do is multiply across our numerators. 1 times A plus 2 gives us our numerator, and A times 2, which is 2A, gives us our numerator. So we've got A plus 2 over 2A. Okay, so just the steps there again. You look to cancel common factors, and you can go diagonally as well as vertically, as long as you just take one pair. And then once you're finished with all the possible cancellations, you multiply across to get your numerator, multiply across to get your denominator, and you'll have a simplified fraction there. Okay, let's look to part D. What do we got here? We got a division. So it's 2x minus 4 over 3 divided by x minus 2 over 6. Okay, what we do with these sorts of questions when we're dividing by a fraction, you might remember the first thing we do is we change that division, don't we? We change it to a multiplication, and then the fraction we're dividing by, not the original one, the one we're dividing by, we write as the reciprocal. So we switch the numerator and denominator around. Okay, and this fraction here stays the same. I get a lot of questions about that. Yes, this stays the same. It's this fraction here that we reciprocate. Now it's a multiplication question. Now we go looking for common factors, and we're going to find, I think here, it's going to be useful for us to factorize this term here, 2x minus 4. So I'm going to write that as 2 bracket x minus 2. If you remember how to factorize, you take out the common factor of the 2 terms, in this case 2 terms. Right, 3 stays there. So all I'm doing in this first step is factorizing. I can only factorize one of the 4 expressions, but look at what that does for me. This is often the case in these questions. We've now got an x minus 2 that's a common factor. We can cancel. The 3 and the 6 have a common factor of 3, so we can remove those. And this is a vast improvement. We've got, this is just a 1 now because that's all gone. 1 times, so 2 on top. Underneath, I've just got 1. So my answer is 2 for D. It just comes back to 2. Okay, apologies here, I've made an error, haven't I? If you go back, there's still a 2 left over because the x minus 2's went, but this 2 still holds. So it's 2 times 2 on top. So that's not 2, that's 4 over 1, which is 4. 4 over 1 equals 4. Okay, moving on. Let's do we're looking at algebraic fractions and all different types. The single type, where we have to do a bit of factorizing before we cancel, multiplication and division, and of course now we need to look at addition and subtraction. So my first example is a subtraction, 3/4 minus a over 2. Now remember with fractions, when you add and subtract fractions, you can't move until you've got the same denominator. So our first job here is to rewrite with a common denominator, and that common denominator in this case is going to be 4, isn't it? Because this a over 2, right, that goes to 4. So what have I done? Whatever I've done to the 2, I've doubled the 2, I've times the 2 by 2. So I've multiplied by 2 here. So I have to do the same to the numerator. Otherwise I will be changing the value of the fraction. We can't do that. So that becomes 2a there. So now I've got 3 over 4 minus 2a over 4. What I do is I collect my numerators together. So 3 minus 2a over 4. And we've done. We've simplified our fraction. So in this case, simplifying the fraction is to take the two fractions and make it back to 1. Have a look at another example. This will be an addition. So 2 over 5 plus 3 over a. Now in this case, we've got a bit of algebra in the denominator. Same deal though, we're adding fractions. So we must get a common denominator. So I want the same term here and here. Now what's that going to be? When there's some algebra involved, just multiply them together. So 5a I know is a common multiple here, and that's what we're looking for, just like we looked for a common multiple here, which was 4. So 5a goes under here. So what goes on top? Well, the denominator's been multiplied by a, hasn't it? So let's do the same to the numerator. What's the denominator been multiplied by here? From there to there, it's been multiplied by 5. So let's do the same with the 3. 3 times 5, 15. Okay, so what's left is just to put 2a plus 15 together. And there's our fraction. Okay, so I think we've almost filled 12 minutes now, and that's at the sort of upper end of the length of these videos that I'd like. I did waffle on a little bit, and that was just to set the scene and just get you used to the idea of these video lessons, and a bit of the rationale, and also to explain what I'm expecting for Monday. So we'll leave it there. We're ready to get stuck into exercise 1b. There are some other types of questions towards the end of that exercise, but we might just have a look at those when we get to them in class. I think that's enough for now. So you can expect on Monday to be working through exercise 1b. We don't need to be doing that now. Just need to have the notes and to really try and understand all those different types of fractions and how they work and how we simplify them. So I'll see you next class.